Hey everyone, I'm Mike from theparkprodigy.com, and on today's video I'm going to break down if the Universal Orlando parks are getting busier as the year goes on, especially with this being really the first full year that Epic Universe has been operating. And what I think is so interesting is everyone assumes that Epic Universe is getting busier in its second year, so they might be avoiding that Universal Orlando trip, but the data says the exact opposite actually. Epic Universe actually got quieter in 2026, but before you go booking Epic every day of your trip, here's the catch. It definitely still depends on the day that you visit, and the crowds aren't disappearing. Things are really just balancing itself out at Universal Orlando. We track the wait time data on every single ride across all three Universal Orlando parks, and what I found I feel completely changes the way you should be planning your Universal Orlando days. And so that's why in this video I'm going to show you exactly which park got busier, which one got quiet, we already spoke about it, and the one ride that's still averaging well over a 2-hour wait even on the quietest of days. So if you're in the process of planning that Universal Orlando trip, just be sure to stick around until the end of this video. As always, I'm very excited, so let's go get started. Thank you again so much for checking out this video. Like I said, I'm about to break down really how busy are the Universal Orlando parks right now. And at the time of the recording of this video, it is July 2nd, 2026, so we are halfway done with 2026. So I'm kind of just looking at the data and saying, okay, well, we did a lot of videos at the beginning of the year, breaking down the best days to visit, how busy the parks were. I did a video in March breaking down the wait times at Epic, and we saw that the wait times were actually coming down. Now we're kind of reevaluating everything and saying, well, how busy are the parks in 2026 compared to 2025? And when you look at all of the three parks together, Universal's crowds in 2026 really haven't exploded the way that I feel like everyone was sort of predicting with Epic Universe opening up in May of 2025. I have a lot of contacts in the theme parks, and I know that we were kind of anticipating very high crowds at Epic specifically for the first couple years with it opening up. And of course, outside of the really fun things going on at the theme parks, there's a lot going on in the world, and it's interesting for me to really look at the data and say like, hey, how are all of these external factors impacting families, and are they still coming down to Universal for those family vacations? So it's definitely interesting. And of course, on a big picture, like I'm saying, crowds did not grow. They sort of have been consistent, but what we're seeing is they're rebalancing across Universal Orlando. And so the shift that we're seeing is Epic Universe has pretty much cooled off a little bit, but Islands of Adventure has heated back up. And then of course we have Universal Studios Florida pretty much staying exactly the same. So we have three parks with three completely different stories, and if you only plan around one of them, which is Epic, you're gonna get burned. So before I jump into the numbers, I want to kind of just give you some more of a baseline. Essentially what I did was I compared the 2025 wait time data for every single Universal Orlando park, and I compared it to what we have so far in 2026. And so part of the reason why I was doing this too is I'm going to use this data to go and update our crowd calendar that we have over at the Park Prodigy. So if you are in the process of planning that Universal trip and you're trying to pick the best days to visit, definitely be sure to go check out that crowd calendar. But let's jump into the fun and let's finally start to break down what some of the wait times look like in this parks. How are they changing? And let's start with the biggest park on everyone's mind right now, and that is of course going to be Epic Universe, the brand new park. So like I said, Epic Universe definitely surprised me. This is the newest park, but it started to quiet down, and it's actually getting less crowded in its second year. So across every ride in the park, the average wait times dropped about 5% from 2025 to 2026. Some of the rides did go up, but again, this is on average across all rides. We definitely are down and going in the right direction. So what does this look like from a ride standpoint? Well, we're going to start with Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. In 2025, the average wait time was 163 minutes. In 2026, it's 136 minutes. So we're down on average by 27 minutes, and we love to see that. On the flip side, one ride that is going in the wrong direction is Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, where last year we were on average at 116 minutes, and this year we're at 136. But sticking with Super Nintendo World, another ride that's going in the right direction, we have Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge at 124 minutes, and then it's coming down to an average of 105 minutes in 2026. This is the one ride that kind of really still blows me away. I don't know how this ride has such a, I guess I do understand, right, because it's great for young kids, but 105 minutes for Mario Kart is just crazy. Another really popular one not a ride, but a popular meet and greet that I talk about a lot on our channel. We have the Toothless meet and greet. Last year on average we had 95 minutes. This year on average 86 minutes. So we're down 9 minutes. Curse of the Werewolf is up. It went from 50 to 54. Hiccups Wing Gliders, a big decrease. So we went from 78 minutes last year to 53 minutes this year. And I wonder if a lot of that has to do with the fact that Isle of Berk is now part of Early Park Admission. My guess is it probably does have a big impact. The ride that isn't included with the Universal Express Pass at Epic Universe, Dragon Racers Rally, stayed pretty consistent. It's actually down by 2 minutes, 48 to 46. Yoshi's Adventure is down by 6 minutes from 51 to 45. Stardust Racer is down by 8 from 47 to 39. Constellation Carousel went up from 26 to 32. Fire Drill is down from 52 to 30. And Monsters Unchained staying pretty consistent from 32 down to 29. And so of course, what are you going to do with this information? Well, as you can see, the average guest visiting the parks, hopefully you will have a little bit of a better day when you go to Epic Universe. As you can see in those average wait times though, is this park still busy? Yes, it's definitely still busy, and you definitely still need a solid game plan to see and do everything within your one day. Like I said, those first 3 rides, they're all definitely well above an hour wait. Those are some heavy hitters, and so you do have to be prepared. But now moving over to the next park that you definitely have to be prepared for as well, and it's sort of that sleeper at Universal Orlando now, and that is Islands of Adventure. And this is the park that's getting busier so far in 2026. Now, is this very surprising? No. I mean, if you visited Universal Orlando, you kind of know before Epic, like, this was the park. Everyone loved going to Islands of Adventure. It has what I still consider to be the best ride at Universal in Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. And so it's really no surprise that kind of folks, they probably, if they're coming back to the parks and they've already visited Epic, they're probably just spending more time now at the other parks, specifically Islands. And so because of that, we did see an average wait time across all of the rides that we tracked jump by about 11%, and that is a big increase. So which rides are going to be impacted the most? Well, of course, in at number 1, we do have Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, where we went from an average wait time of last year at 110 minutes, and this is up to 123. Now, what I would say here very quickly is Hagrid's was using the Universal Express really for the past year from May to July, but as of July 1st, the Express Pass is no longer valid at Hagrid's. And I think part of the reason that Universal did this was they saw that the average wait time for the ride was going up, and it was consistently well past that 2-hour mark. So maybe this changes by the end of this year. Another big one that we have at Islands is the Jurassic World Velocicoaster, which is also up from 53 minutes up to 60 minutes on average. We have the Tridentaron Flyers, went from 33 minutes up to 42 minutes. Flight of the Hippogriff from 38 minutes up to 41. The Incredible Hulk Coasters up from 27 minutes to 30 minutes. And Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man's pretty consistent from 28 to 29. The Hogwarts Express went up from 21 to 27 minutes on average. I also think that's interesting because if you've been watching my channel, you know I've spoken about the park-to-park ticket a lot. And if you're visiting Universal now for 3 days or more, once you get past that 3-day ticket, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, they only sell a park-to-park ticket. And I think Universal, this is sort of what they were expecting. They want more families to go park to park. They want more families to hop on that Hogwarts Express, and we're seeing the wait times go up. All right, one that comes as no surprise to me personally, and that is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, which is the Nausea Machine. And so we're going from 27 minutes down to 25. Skull Island Reign of Kong down slightly from 26 to 25. Dudley Do-Right's Ripshire Falls from 28 to 22. Dr. Doom's Fearfall went up from 15 to 18. The Highway in the Sky Swoosh Trolleys pretty consistent from 17 to 18. One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish 14 to 14 did not change. Popeye and Bluto's Bill Rat Barges from 14 to 10. Cat in the Hat 8 to 9. And then Jurassic Park River Adventure I actually did not include in our list just because the ride has been down for refurbishment throughout majority of 2026. I also have the Carousel from 6 to 6 and Storm Force Acceleration from 6 to 6. And so as you can see there, I mean, just from a numbers standpoint, there's a lot more rides at Islands of Adventure than, let's say, Epic Universe, and right now than over in Universal Studios Florida. So again, you do need a solid game plan to really see and do it all. The main one that's on everyone's minds, of course, is typically Hagrid's. My honest opinion is the best time to still get on Hagrid's with the lowest wait time possible is to use our early park admission strategy if you do have early park admission, and that is to show up a full hour before early park admission even starts, and that should help you get on this ride a lot quicker. Okay, but moving over to that constant park, and that is Universal Studios Florida, which is really the steady veteran here in the group. So while Epic Universe dropped and Universal's Islands of Adventure went up, Universal Studios Florida really barely moved. And I will say that this was kind of surprising for me because we actually lost a major ride, which is Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. It actually we lost it last year. I say lost, that Universal's rebuilding a brand new Fast and Furious roller coaster. So Rip Ride Rocket, they're demolishing it. And what I'm getting at here is, realistically, when you lose a ride like that, you would expect that just in theory, the other rides, their wait times typically will go up because people have to go on something, right? But what we're finding is it's pretty consistent. So the rides look like this. Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts, we went from 42 minutes up to 46. Revenge of the Mummy, we're at 32 up to 34. Despicable Me is exactly the same at 32. Transformers The Ride 3D from 25 to 26. The Hogwarts Express went down on this side from 30 to 25. E.T. Adventure went from 26 to 24. The Simpsons went from 26 to 24. Men in Black from 18 to 17. Race to New York starring Jimmy Fallon from 18 down to 16. Fast and the Furious Supercharged from 17 down to 15. Trolls Troller Coaster from 17 down to 15. Kang and Kudos Twirl and Hurl from 15 down to 13. Then we have Illuminations VillainCon Minion Blast from 9 to 8. So as you can see, really Gringotts is really the main wait here. It's sort of ticked up a little bit to 46 minutes on average, but everything else is mostly flat and actually down. And what I would say is this park by far is definitely the easiest park to get through from a planning standpoint. But the fun is not done there. We actually went and we also looked at what is going on from a best day of the week standpoint to visit these parks. Are we seeing changes, and should that impact really maybe how you plan your Universal Orlando vacation and which day of the week you should visit? And so the biggest change is really going to be over at Epic Universe, where if you've been watching my channel, if you watched earlier in the year, we actually spoke about how the weekend was the slowest time to visit Universal's Epic Universe. Well, things are definitely changing because we now actually have Tuesday being one of the slowest days to visit Epic, hopping into the top 3. So we're going from slowest to busiest. We have in at number 1 as the slowest day to visit Epic, we have Sunday. In at number 2, we have Tuesday. In at number 3, we have Thursday. At 4, we have Saturday. At 5, we have Wednesday. At 6, we have Monday. And then the busiest day to visit Epic Universe is now Friday. And so what I would say to this very quickly is what I thought was interesting when my wife and I just went and we did a staycation at Helios Grand Hotel, and we had an amazing time at Helios, but we also ended up going to Epic Universe twice. And so the story behind this is, going into this trip, my wife and I were planning, and we pretty much said like, hey, Epic Universe tickets are typically, when we went in the past, they were around $200 per person per day. So we can only go to Epic Universe once. But for annual pass holders, they actually had a great deal on Saturday and Sunday where we got our Epic Universe tickets for $109 each. So we're able to go to Epic for 2 days for the cost of what we usually went for one. And I do think that's having an impact on crowd levels. I think Universal, sort of now that they have a general idea of like what their crowds look like at Epic, I think they're trying to entice people like myself who are Florida locals who maybe were staying away because of the price of tickets, and we are seeing the wait times change. That's just my gut, but it was interesting to see the data sort of back that up. And if all of this data is just too much for you, if you're just trying to plan an amazing family vacation for your family and you don't want to deal with any of this stuff, just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com. You can actually get a free vacation quote from myself. You can get my help, my team's help, planning an amazing vacation, and we will take the stress out of all of it. But moving over to the next park, and we have Universal's Islands of Adventure. So this one stayed pretty consistent. We're still seeing the slowest days of the week to be right in the middle of the week, Wednesday being the slowest day at Islands of Adventure, followed by Tuesday, then Thursday, then Monday, then Sunday, then Friday, and then Saturday being the busiest day at Islands. And I would say this is probably the busiest park on a Saturday in all of Universal. And then over to Universal Studios Florida, pretty consistent. We actually have the exact same as Islands, where we have Wednesday, then Tuesday, then Thursday. Well, actually then slightly different, then Sunday, then Friday, then Saturday. But that is it, everyone. That gives you an idea of just how crowded the Universal Orlando parks really are in 2026. Like I said, it looks like we're pretty consistently crowded compared to 2025, with the biggest difference being where those crowds are going in 2026. And I know I've said it a couple times, but I can't emphasize enough just how important it is to have a solid game plan going into your Universal Orlando vacation if you want to get the most out of it, if you want to give yourself the best chance to get on as many rides as possible. And of course, as always, if you are in the process of planning that Universal Orlando trip and you need a little additional help, just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com. As a thank you for sticking around all the way till the end of this video, I do have a special promo code you can go use on our website to save an extra $50 off your next Universal Orlando family vacation, and that promo code is MAGIC50. I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all again so much for checking out this video, and until next time, I will talk to you soon.